This is a modified excerpt from a book titled The Lone Rider Takes a Bride. So let's go ahead and start. Let's join Lance and his capstone group member, Lance, as they get playful after having downloaded their simulation just before 3 a.m. It had been quite an evening, and there was electricity in the air. Lance sat down and pulled her onto his lap. He pushed a strand of hair from her face.
You know, I'm not doing too bad. We finished our download and I've got a beautiful woman in my lap.
She lifted her gaze to meet his, and lifted her fingers to his jaw.
Someone who claims to have a snake tattoo. You've done so much more work than anyone else in this group. And you pay so much attention to me, personally.
Lance took that as an invitation. He smiled triumphantly as her bottom felt soft and warm on his lap. Knowing she was vulnerable right now, he struggled with his desire.
Oh, do you want to see my tattoo?
He challenged, shrugging off his jacket. He pushed the sleeve of his shirt up his arm.
Oh my god. Such big fangs. Great tongue.
Her lips twitched as she looked at him.
Whatever possessed you to do this?
A bottle of tequila during winter break down in Cancun. The last thing I remember, I was judging a wet t-shirt contest at Carlos and Charlie's, and the next thing I knew, I woke up on the beach with a cobra on my arm and a terrible headache.
She ran her fingers over his biceps.
This is the first time I've been up this close in person with a tattoo like that.
Still stroking his skin, she gave him a sideways glance. She slid her hand under the edge of his sleeve and glanced up at him. Her expression shielded her by her eyelashes. Lance's heart thumped at the subtle invasion of her fingers on his shoulder. She slowly met his gaze, and Lance felt the impact of her expression like a bold caress.
It's clear that I want him, but I have no clue what I'm getting myself into. But I just want him anyways.
That knowledge rippled through him, making him excited.
She was unlike any other team member I'd ever worked with. She was so very tender, yet underneath it all, there was a wildness.
Determined not to seduce her, he narrowed his eyes and waited for the moment to pass.
Surely it would pass. She would back down. She would come to her senses.
But no, instead, moving inch by mesmerizing, Lana lifted her mouth to his and whispered,
I need you.
Sliding her delicate fingers through his hair to his scalp, she maintained her seductive gaze. He returned her look with a provocative gaze of his own. All this was too sexy, too erotic to resist. Lance just had to say something.
You know, a lot of us are going to Cuba for spring break, and I'd really love for you to come with me. We could go to Carlos and Charlie's, and who knows, maybe end up on the beach.
Lana, so excited by the suddenness of the offer that she just had to blurt out,
Yes, I'd love to come with you to Cuba. And maybe I'll surprise you with where I get my tattoo.
And so it went for the rest of the night. Two deeply committed 95th percentile students had found each other, and it was obvious that they would soon be engaging in a simulation exercise of their own.